Hey, what is up guys, this is CMCuber here, and on this channel we do cubing tutorials, reviews, and unboxing just like this one. So if you're interested, consider subscribing. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to solve the first two layers of the 3x3 using the beginner's method. This will be part one of two videos. It's not the fastest method, but it's a great starting point for anyone trying to solve the 3x3. I'll also drop a link down below to some of my favorite 3x3 cubes, so be sure to check those out. Let's get into the video. Okay, to start out, I'm going to give you guys a scramble so you can follow along if you would like. Check out my 2x2 tutorial if you guys are unfamiliar with algorithm notation. Okay, so here's the scramble. Holding the white face towards you and the green face on top, we're going to do this set of moves. U2, L2, back, down 2, back prime, R2, back, L2, back, F2, U2, R, back, R2, U, back prime, L prime, front, down, front, R2. Okay, now that you have the scramble, we're going to do the first step in solving the 3x3. The first step is to solve a single cross. And a lot of people like to start out with the white cross because it's the easiest to recognize the pieces that need to be placed in. So in order to solve it, we need to place in edge pieces, which are these pieces with only two colors on it, to their corresponding faces. So you'll look around the cube and we'll see a white and red piece on the bottom face. So holding the white on top, we're going to rotate the bottom so that that red and white piece matches its corresponding center. Now all we have to do is flip it up to the top. So we have the white and the red. And we need that because in order to solve the entire layer, these two are going to have to match. So next we'll look and we'll see the white and blue. It's already in the spot it needs to go, but it's inverted. So following this algorithm, we'll be able to correctly position it. We'll be able to flip it. So holding that piece on the right face, we'll do this set of moves. R prime, U, front prime, U prime. So now we have flipped that piece. Next, we'll look around. We need the white and orange piece, and we see that it's over on the other side. So we are going to need to put it in the bottom face so that we can move it freely without messing up these other two. So in order to do that, I'm going to bring this face down. I'm going to move this edge piece out of the way so that I can put my other edge piece back. Now that it's in the bottom face, I'm going to put it directly below where it needs to go and match it up with its face. I'm going to flip it up to the top. So now we have that in the correct spot. Next, and the last piece that we need is the white and green piece. So we'll look around the cube and we see that it's right here on the other side. And it's in between those two pieces that we've already solved. So holding it on the left, I'm going to do down, or left down, and I'm going to move it out of the way and then put my red piece back. So now that green piece is matched up with its corresponding center. I'm going to just flip it up. So now each piece matches its corresponding center, and we have the white cross. Alright, so the next step in solving the 3x3 is to place in your white corner pieces. This can be done in many ways, but today I will be showing you how I learned to solve the white corners. The corners that you place in are going to have to match the corresponding edge pieces, because once you solve it, you're going to need an entire single layer to be solved. And a good example of this is a white corner, but those pieces do not match the edge pieces. So to start off, I'm going to show you an example of how when this piece is in the top layer, we're going to have to put it in the bottom layer so that we can put it in the correct spot. So if you have a piece in the top layer that you need to put in the bottom, we're going to do this set of moves. we'll do R prime, D prime, R, D. So now that piece is in the bottom layer, and I'm free to rotate it however I want without messing up our cross. So I'm going to say put the corner piece directly below where it needs to go, because this white, orange, and green piece needs to be in this spot because it is white, orange, and green. So it's directly below where it needs to go. And there are 3 cases of how this piece in the bottom can be ornated. There can be a white facing you, a white facing right, or a white facing bottom. And there's 3 different algorithms to each one. So in order to place in this corner, the white is facing me. So this is universal for whenever the white is facing you and the corner is in your right hand layer. So we're going to do this move. D prime, R prime, D to match it up, and R to put it up in the top layer. Now we've solved that corner. So look for the next one, and I looked at, we already had solved this one when we did our white cross. So look, and now we need a blue, red, and white corner. And that corner is in the bottom layer already. So I'm going to rotate the bottom and put it directly below where it needs to go. Now we have the case where the white is facing to the right. And in order to do this algorithm, we're going to follow the same moves that we did to put the corner piece in the bottom layer. We'll do R prime, D prime, R, D. Now we've placed that corner in. So now I'm going to look for my last corner piece. It needs to be green and red and white. So it's in the bottom layer, so I'm going to rotate it below where it needs to go. And now we have the third case. The white is facing the bottom. So there's several different ways to do this, but in order to memorize a lower amount of algorithms, I'm just going to repeat when the algorithm that when the white was facing to the right. So we're going to do R prime, D prime, R, D. So now it's up there. We'll do it again. R prime, D prime, R, D. And now it's facing to the right. So we can do it one more time. R prime, D prime, R, D. And now you'll notice we have an entire face solved, but the important part, we have an entire layer solved. So that is the second step in solving the 3x3. Alright, so after solving the first layer, we're going to be solving the second layer in the Rubik's Cube. And we're going to do that by placing in the 4 corresponding edge pieces into this middle layer. When solving the middle layer, you're going to hold the white layer, or the white face on the bottom, and the yellow centerpiece facing up. And to start out, we're going to look for a single edge piece in the top layer that doesn't have any yellow on it, because the pieces you're looking for are going in the center layer, which does not have any yellow on it. So we'll look around, and first thing I notice is a red and green piece. And it's already in the top layer, so I'm going to rotate it and match it up with the corresponding centerpiece. So this red piece matches that red centerpiece. And there's 2 ways that this edge piece will need to move. It'll either have to go here or here. And I see that if it goes here, it'll be a red and green, which doesn't match the blue. If it goes here, it's going to be red and green, which matches. So that's the set of algorithm that you need to know, is the moving to the right one. And to move an edge piece clockwise down to the right, I like to call it, we're going to do this set of moves. U, R, U prime, R prime, U, front prime, U, F. And we have placed in that edge piece. So I already noticed that there's another edge piece that needs to be placed in the center layer, or the middle layer, because it doesn't have any yellow on it. So this red piece needs to go right here so it matches up with the center pieces. So holding it with it facing you, we're going to need to move it to the left. So this is the other case. And we'll follow this algorithm when we need to move it to the left. U prime, L prime, U, L, U, front, U prime, F prime. Now we have placed in that edge piece. So we only have 2 more. And I see that there's a blue and orange piece already in the top layer. I'm going to match it up with its corresponding center. And now I see that I need to move it to the left. So we're going to do the set of moves to move it to the left. So we'll do U prime, L prime, U, L, U, front, U prime, F prime. Now these are kind of long algorithms, so it'll take a little while to memorize them, but there's some tips and tricks to memorizing them. So we'll match up the last one, and how I think of it is we'll move it to the opposite way of where it needs to go. Now we're going to move up that side that it needs to go. We're going to move it over so that we can match up that bar, which is called a pair. We're going to move it over, move this up so that we can bring it over and insert that pair. So now we have solved the middle layer. Okay, so when we were solving, we never ran into a case where there wasn't a single edge piece in the top layer that didn't have yellow on it. So if we look around in this, we see that every single edge piece has yellow on it. And we're not going to be able to place in a piece because it's not in the top layer. And I see that this piece is already in the correct spot, but it's not in the right orientation. So what I'm going to do here is place in this piece so that this piece will now be in the top layer, and then I can place in this piece once it's in the top layer. So holding it like this, I know that I'm going to have to move it to the left. So we'll do the set of moves that moves the edge piece down into the left using these. So U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. And we can see that we placed in that yellow and red piece, and now I see that my blue and orange piece is in the top layer. So I can move it over and match it up with the center right here, and then we can now move it to the left. Same set of moves. U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. So now we've placed in that edge piece. And that's the only kind of weird conditions you might get. You might have 2 pieces that are flipped and all yellow edges in the top, and you'll just place in a yellow piece so that the piece will be in the top layer. And you'll have to use a little bit of intuition in a couple cases, but for the most part, I gave you the algorithms that you'll need to know. Alright, so that was how to solve the first 2 layers of the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, make sure to drop us a like below and also subscribe for more cubing videos. Make sure to check out the description for some awesome cubes that I recommend, and also drop a comment down below of future cubing videos you guys would like to see. Thanks guys, and just keep solving.